And J.R. Findlay, then the director for the CBC in the Prairie Provinces, was on hand to sign on the new station. In those early days, it was all live television. There was no videotape, so what happened in front of the cameras went to air without any editing. And while many shows have come and gone over the years, news, sports, and weather have always played an important role with CBWT. Our first bulletins were read by Morris Burchell, and just a week after the station opened, our new news team got their first big story when the old Time building was gutted by fire. Television brought the flames' destruction into Winnipeg living rooms like no one could have imagined. Television news was here to stay. And who could forget those memorable weather reports by our first weatherman, Ed Russenholt.
12 degrees below zero. Really, really winter in Western Canada. And so, our forecast for the Red River Valley, the heart of the continent. After a day of cloud and snow.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our first...
They were exciting days, and after a year on the air, it was time to look back.
Well, 1 year ago tonight, CBWT went on the air officially for the first time. And since then, we've looked forward to bringing you at least the first birthday show presenting Winnipeg talent. Our first number featured Maxine Ware, Del Wagner, and our dancers.
Mr. Tapto, Mr. Happy Tappy Toe. I want to go along with you. I want to go along with you. I want to go along with you.
Here are our dancers, Arnold Spohr, Kathleen Scott, and Leslie Carter, and the dance chorus, and their interpretation of Slaughter on 10th Avenue. The Winnipeg Winter Club.
One of CBWT's early highlights was our first big mobile production live from the Winnipeg Winter Club.
Ice Review! Central Park at the turn of the century was a playground of young and old alike. The skaters of the Winter Club recreate the many moods of the showplace of this great metropolis.
The first program was Eye to Eye, which started in 1969.
This is the kitchen at the Rupert Avenue Jail. And I have the cook with me. This room is, how big? About 14 feet by 8, something like that.
A year later saw the start of the Mary Liz Show.
Today we welcome a representative of the Presbyterian Church, the second guest for our series of various religious denominations here in Manitoba. Francis Mackay has pointers on what the food stores are offering at attractive prices, and Matt Garr a suggestion for a Valentine that she guarantees the family will love to eat.
Thank you, Bill, and that does seem appropriate. Seeing we had fashions on Tuesday, we should at least have food on Thursday.
There are lots of very big ones, but they're not big enough to be seen with the naked eye.
Then there was Darby Coates with his show Stargazing.
Well, that's all for tonight. Goodbye for now. Darby Coates, Stargazing.
There's a man I knew
Good evening. For the first time in Western Canada, we're presenting a program which is being heard on radio and seen on television at the same time.
The Good Deed Show sought to find new talent, and it did, with several discoveries going on to bigger things. One of them was Barbara Dumas, who went on to become one of the original members of the Hymn Sing Chorus. And this is how Hymn Sing looked when it started.
Join your voice 2 hours for the next half hour as Don Brown and the chorus invite you to Hymn Sing.
Young hearts are joined in song to praise our Lord the King. So come along, the Spirit calls, let's join together and sing. Rapidly.
Another CBC institution was Reach for the Top. It started in 1962 and was hosted for a while by someone very familiar to 24 Hours late night viewers.
And that's how it all comes together. And that's when I say, here's your quizmaster, Bill Guest.
Looking just the same.
Right, hasn't been a change except for a shorter haircut.
I may say, yeah, you remember all of that.
Yes, as a matter of fact, watching those tapes earlier tonight when Heaton was putting it together, the first television show on that day, I drove on my bike down to Academy Road to a TV station, outlet store,
and you watched
and I watched
the window?
Spotlight and Victory at Sea.
Oh.
And how did I know that 10 years later I would be on CBC?
Well, you know, some of those shows are so wonderful. I mean, I think it'd be Ice Review, I thought, was terrific.
They kept Bob Wilson very busy. As a matter of fact, Bob Wilson now is a supervisor for network radio sports.
He was the young fellow who was introducing
and he looks as young as he does today.
And so do you. You look wonderful.
Thank you.
So that's 35 years we've been on the air.
35 years here, 25 years for me, and Bill Guest, of course, unfortunately passing away a few years ago.
Yeah, that's a nice
big
voice to hear
on
again,
CBC
isn't it?
Manitoba, yeah.
That's great. I love looking back at those things. I think they should bring back stargazing, too. That was a neat show.
The Mr. Wizard of the 1950s.
Also, the black and white, I just love. It's so dramatic.
Those are great shows, great talent from CBC Winnipeg.
Yep, we got lots to be proud of, and the city has lots to be proud of.